welcome. You're watching another episode of Every Day is a New Day, and my name is Kim O'Neill. Super excited to be here with you. I'm always excited to be here with you. I love getting to speak to the guests that I connect with, just have amazing information and resources to share with you. Today's guest is Susan Bradley-Boartfield. And I know her through one of the coaching programs that I had gone through. And she's a very divinely connected lady. And she has some wonderful stuff to share with us today. So with that said, I want to say hello and welcome to you, Susan.
Hi, Kim. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, I know you're doing some great things too, and I'm excited for you to share that here. Before we get to that, would you be open to sharing, who you are and what some of the things are that you do?
Sure. I'm Susan Bradley-Boartfield, and I am a Transformational Intuitive Coach. My purpose in being here is so that you two remember who you are. And I am here to raise the coaches and healers up so that they can get their messages out to the world.
It sounds like your ideal coaching clients are other coaches and healers. Is that correct?
Yes. And becoming a coach was never in my life plan. It just kind of happened. So I was actually very successful in the insurance industry and doing very well. So I was managing my own office for about 12 years, and I began to be in pain. And like a trooper, right, I kept pushing through, ignoring the calls from my body until finally the universe had my computers stop working. They gave me 5 computers, and none of them would work. So I said, okay.
Wow.
So since my computers didn't work anymore, I'm like, okay, I'll take some time off.
Okay.
I went to the doctors, and they said, you're done. You're done. You're not working anymore. And I was on 22 pills and a pain patch at my lowest moment. And the recommendation was to have a pain pump inserted in my body and go and have morphine pumped into my body once a month. So being bedridden.
Well, did they know what was going on with you?
Yeah, well, what was happening was I had sciatic pain, and it just went rampant through my whole body because I have cerebral palsy. Wow. So with the cerebral palsy, the spasms on the left side of my body did not allow for the healing. So it just kind of, I was like, a crunched up ball of nerves. And so as I relaxed, I got worse because my muscles and my body was so tight, it kind of contained the pain. But once I went out of work and began to release the pain, it was like nerves shooting up my hands, my feet, if I put my foot on the floor, I would cry. So I had my awakening. I've always been divinely connected my whole life, but when I was laying there in bed, and I just asked, I said, who am I if I can't work and I can't walk? Like, who am I? And a voice came to me that said, you are love, and so is everyone.
Oh, I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah, I'm just, so it was just that I was just covered up with all this junk. So I decided that I wasn't going to allow the doctors to write my story.
Awesome.
Yeah. that I was in charge of my life, and so I stopped taking the pills, and
Wow.
I got a brain, right? Because when you're I was on 22 pills and a pain patch. So having conversations with me was like talking to your pet rock, right?
Oh.
So, so being bedridden was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I had to ask myself, what can I do from bed?
Wow.
And I decided I would be, well, actually, that's not how it happened. So when I asked, then an email from Christy Whitman came through. I'm like, thank you.
Okay, now, so for those who don't know, Christy Whitman is a law of attraction coach of other coaches, and she has lots of programs out there that are really powerful and useful for people who want to be able to transform their life. And so with that said, I know you are a certified law of attraction coach.
Yes.
And were you, at the time when you first saw her email, were you already aware of what law of attraction was and how it works and all that?
I had seen The Secret movie, and I actually did John Asraf's program.
Okay.
So, because I wanted to learn how my brain, how my mind worked in relation to the pain and how I could heal. So I just began this journey of healing and self-love right after I asked, what am I going to do? Ask and it is given. So that's how it happened.
What came after that for you as you were in the program and really gaining a deeper understanding for yourself how law of attraction works and how we create our own reality and experience things and how we can we're so powerful and can shift things. What came out of that for you?
Well, I had already been connecting on a daily basis, but as you know, because you went through the program, you have to do the work on yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that, but it was, just to uncover and release those things within me that didn't value myself, that created the situation where I did become bedridden because, I wasn't honoring my body. I wasn't honoring my being. And so, and then I began, I had already been channeling for a while. So I had to start coaching like 10 times more people so that the guides would say, okay, this is a good one for an approved QSCA process, right?
Wow.
So, because I'm intuitive, right? I'm not going to force anything. So that's what happened. So I began to just coach many, many, many coaches and healers that I've met through the QSCA and other coaching programs. So, I just fell in love and I just knew this is it.
May I ask you, what connections did you make with law of attraction, creating a reality, and how cerebral palsy and being bedridden, what connections were you able to make as you went on that journey?
I realized in truth that who we are is spirit, right? That's our truth. And as spirit, we are whole, perfect, and complete, right? That's our truth. So I always say, to help people understand, it's like if you fell down, hit your head, and got amnesia, right? Are you still who you are?
I think so.
You are. You're still that amazing, beautiful spirit. You're whole, perfect, and complete. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's only your perception of yourself that needs to be adjusted.
And were you born with cerebral palsy?
I was.
Okay.
I was. I was born from violence, basically, and into silence. So a very abusive situation. And my first memory is I was 3 years old. I told my mother, my mother, I love her. She's a wonderful person, but, you know, she chose the wrong relationships. And I told her I was going to the store at 3 years old. And I remember walking down the road thinking I would be better off by myself. So, you know, but it made me who I am today, right?
So what happened after that?
Well, I've always been connected, and I had guides that I was had a relationship with growing up, and very strong bond with my guides. But as a teenager, it became a one-way conversation. I was receiving, but I didn't want to talk to them anymore.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So what contributed to that I know that can be a scary experience for some people. Was it fear or what?
Because I knew too much.
Okay.
Like what made me shut them out was a lot of times when I connect with someone, I have a message for them. And that's why like people out of the blue will just come up to me. And I just trust that whoever is meant to come to me will, right?
Yeah.
I was in ninth grade on the bus going to school, and this girl that I knew she was nice. She was a nice person. We weren't friends, but she sat next to me and she started telling me how she had bruises on her legs.
Oh.
And I said, "You need to go to the doctor. You may have leukemia." And she did.
Whoa.
So I thought that I created it.
Oh.
Right? I thought it was my fault. So I didn't want to know anything else.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It's, thinking that you're creating it as opposed to the way I view it is seeing you as a messenger to be able to help people.
Right. But she died.
Oh.
And we were only young. We were, I was 14. So I didn't have that family structure where I could say, this is what happened. And it scared me,
So are you the first one in your family to really be connected to source? And
I'm the only one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my dad is, my dad is very intuitive, very not spiritually connected, but his guidance comes through very clear. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah. So, so were you ever able to talk to your dad about this?
Only in the last few years, but we have to decide for ourselves, right? It doesn't matter what your background is or what you went through, like your show, right? Every day is new. And it's true. Every day we get to wake up and thank our guides, our angels, thank God that we are here and we do have a new day and we get to choose what happens.
Your ability to channel, I mean, whenever I hear about people who are able to do that or, just they're, clairvoyant, clairaudient, I love stuff like that. I think it's so awesome. And I've tried to connect with that within myself on a deeper level and really strengthen that muscle myself. But I every time I speak to someone who has just naturally had that ability and that connection, the common theme, and I'm sure you are aware of this, is they experience it and then they say, oh, and they put the brakes on because it's maybe too much. It's too powerful. And it sounds like your first experience of, that was your first experience of knowing how powerful you are.
Right. And knowing that we are infinite beings, right? And we are that powerful because we are of source, right?
Yeah.
We are spirit. And so it did scare me, you know? But then now it's kind of like when I was bedridden,
Mm-hmm.
that I was rebirthed and found my tribe, right? I found my true family. Not that I don't love my family. I love my family with all my heart. But, you know, I never had anyone in my whole life really understand me. And I always felt like I was wrong, broken, right?
You're not alone. A lot of us, me too. I've a theme throughout my entire life of feeling alone, and to some degree I've been okay with it, but at sometimes I haven't been so okay with it, and you know, have worked on, okay, wait a second, am I allowing myself to now get too within myself because I'm feeling alone, so I'm thinking that's how I have to always be? Or what can I do to connect with others? I can set that intention, and I know there are others out there like me, or maybe not like me, but that would like me, and you know, want to connect with me. And I think that's kind of the, you know, that's another way to connect with our power, is realize that, wait a second, whatever we're currently experiencing, we can draw to us other like-minded individuals, and it's really helpful. It can be really helpful, especially for people who are on this journey of you know, strengthening their connection to themselves, to be surrounded by a tribe of like-minded people who can support and love and just accept, because it helps us accept ourselves as well in the process.
Right, exactly. So what I teach is that, you know, in truth, you are that spirit, right? So whole, perfect, and complete. So this is just a human experience that you chose to have. And right now, you're just having difficulty navigating this human experience, but all is well.
Susan, so what did you do to transition out of being bedridden?
I decided that that was not going to be my story, right? So, you know, my whole life, you know, I was told that I wouldn't be able to do anything, that I would have to be dependent, that I can't, I shouldn't, don't, you know. But so at an early age, instead of buying into, right, they're selling me their story, and instead of buying into it, I always knew it wasn't true.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How did you know that it wasn't true for you?
Because I had that connection with my guide, and that really was my only connection, because I was very bullied and very much alone.
And here's something I want to add, and I'm sure you have more to say about this, is that what I just said, the way I just phrased the question was, how did you know that wasn't true for you? What I want to say is, anybody watching this, any story that someone gives us, we get to choose if that story is true for us or not. It's not just Susan because she knew she had this connection. We all have the ability to connect with that.
Exactly. I'm not special. You know, we're all special because we are all spirit. And so, like if you ever look at a baby, right? The baby is pure and perfect and not judged. They know no judgment and they know no limitation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know who they are. They remember who they are.
Yeah.
So as they come into the world, they have no limitation, no judgment, no nothing. Just shine in their light, you know? They have to learn to, they cry to receive, and they have to learn to crawl and to walk, and they fall down a ton of times, but they don't give up. They still go for it. I'm gonna walk. They didn't know limitations till they were started to be told no, right? Don't cry. Well, it's worked for me my whole life. Right? Why can't I cry? So, and then it's like, don't play, stay still, sit down, be quiet, don't do this, don't jump, you might get hurt. Well, I fell down 500 times when I was learning to walk, right? That worked out okay.
Yeah.
So we're taught limitation.
And I want to add to that, that certainly parents are coming from a place of, you know, helping their children navigate, and it's all with good intention of where parents are coming from. Absolutely. And I just want to make it clear that no one's saying, you know, don't try to help your children or guide them or that sort of thing.
Exactly. But my point is that limitation is not the truth of who we are.
Good point. I love it. Yes. And just making that connection of how that's how we start to kind of close ourselves off,
right,
from having had those messages. And then as we're able to experience life and connect to ourselves on that deeper level, realize, oh, okay, well, certainly all those experiences served a purpose, but I still have the ability. I'm still that baby who can tap into that connection of just pure joy and love. That's what we experience when we're around babies. Just this overwhelming feeling of love. And that's because that is who they are. And that's who all of us are. And they help us remember that, or at least connect to that feeling.
And that's a very powerful message that I try, you know, I make sure that people understand, right? It's not your fault, and it's not your parents' fault, and it's not their parents' fault. This has been going on for, you know, forever. But when you can understand that your true nature, who you really are, and that the judgments and beliefs that were sold to you and you bought along the way, they really are not a part of you. And they really don't belong to you. You can give them back.
I love that. I love that. And so I know that you are starting a new community.
Yes, I'm so excited. After coaching about 50 coaches, I'm super excited. That the common theme with everyone, the common concern is they feel isolated. They feel alone. They're excited. They want to give to the world. They want to make a huge difference in the world and for humanity. But it's a lonely road, right?
Yep.
So right now we're connecting and we're speaking the same language, and it's awesome and it feels really good. But when you go off air, right? You're in your space, I'm in my space, and it's very isolating. So I have created, well, I'm not going to say I created it because it came through, right? It came through. Like, I thought my purpose would be to coach and to teach. But my purpose is actually raising up the coaches and the healers and helping them to step into their own magnificence so they can bring their own work out to the world that really needs their message, especially now. Right?
Yeah, now is the time. That's fantastic that you're doing that. So tell us more about that. How are you doing that? It's an online community, right?
It is an online community. It's not Facebook. It's actually a close community.
Okay.
So it's very safe environment with high vibration, right? Because that's that's where we want to be.
Yep.
And your success is the focus and abundance, right? Because without that energy exchange, we can only do so much for the world. But it's that support, right? That nurturing, that support that says, you know what? You got this. You can do it. The world needs your gifts, and the time is now. So within this community, it's about stepping into your own magnificence, shining your light like only you can, right? And collaborating and cooperation and connection between others. You can blog, you can ask questions, you can work together, but you get to know people on a much deeper level. And it's like a soul family that's all gathered to bring their messages for the betterment of humanity.
Now, when does this community open up? When are you starting it?
I have my launch date on the 25th, with the doors opening to the community on February 1st. I'm super excited. I'm getting emails every day. I'm getting, messages from other coaches, and they're like, okay, so when's your launch? When's your launch? So it's the 25th, and I'm really excited. If you want to receive the information for the call, you can email me at susan@becomeempowerednowcoaching.com. And I'll make sure that you get the message. In this membership, there'll be, weekly calls, but it's so deep that if you have your message, right, you're having a call or a program, we'll have a calendar. You can put it on the calendar, and you can have that support from other coaches and other healers, as well as if you're launching a program, you can ask the coaches and healers to review it. So you'll receive testimonials before you even put it out there.
Nice.
Right? So that's what this is about, so that we can all walk on the same path. And there is strength and unity, and there is such a need right now for coaches. And as you go through this membership, you emerge the leader that you're born to be.
I love that. So what is the commitment? Is it a monthly payment, or?
It's a 6-month membership. And because I just love coaches and healers, I'm doing something really crazy. I mean, if it's so ridiculously affordable, because I just want to wrap everybody up and just say, you got this, you can do this, you are brilliant, right? Very important to point out that I will be helping everyone connect to their own inner wisdom and guidance, because that's so important. And then you'll know what to do. It's like, every day it's so simple. I just connect and say, okay, so yes or no, what do I do? So you were guided to do this show, right?
Yeah.
So that's your intuition. That's your highest guidance and your wisdom. And we all have guides, and they're right there. They're right there. But because we have free will, right, we have to invite them in. And that's really important. That isn't talked about a lot. That so every morning when I wake up, I say, good morning, my guides, my angels. Thank you for being here. And they give me little signals. Like, I told them when I started getting stronger that I wanted a sign that they were with me. So they tickle my head. It's so cool. It's like, wow. Yeah, I'll be like, are you here? And then I just tickle my head. They're funny.
So, okay, I love that you mentioned that about inviting them in.
So when you can connect with your guides every morning, like now, like one day I was driving to the office at the agency, and I did my gratitude of appreciation. I sent out my waves of love. And so I said, you know what, Jesus, because Jesus is one of my guides. He doesn't speak to me, but he shows me things. He shows me how to heal. And and that's not a religious thing, right? Because I am all religions and no religions at the same time. So I said, I just want to know that you're here with me today. And I giggled and I'm like, I know you are, right? But I just want you to show me like one big, huge sign. So I got to the office and my first phone call, his first name was Jesus.
Wow.
Yes. So as you build that relationship, if you ask them, they will show you anything that you want to know. Like before being bedridden, I could have a spoon in my hand and then close my eyes and I wouldn't be able to visualize that spoon. But now I visualize in color, bright and brilliant, beautiful colors. And it's amazing. When I was younger, I was very, very connected where I could see my guide like right next to me, and we'd be walking down the street having conversation. So and my life was hard and my life was not happy. There a lot of trauma in my family, and it's no one's fault. It just is. But I always knew all was well because of that connection. So no matter what I was going through in my life, I knew, like I am eternal. I am eternal. I'm an infinite being. So all is well.
I had a conversation with someone else who said something that made total sense, but I hadn't quite thought of it this way before, that those challenging experiences we have as a child can lead us to go inward and really strengthen that intuitive muscle, which to me is the same exact thing we're talking. Yeah. So for anyone watching, I don't know. I wanted to mention that in case that maybe connects the dots for anyone of how that serves and can help guide and give that support and hope moving forward.
Right. Like prayer is talking to your guides and talking to God, but meditation is really listening. So having some quiet time every day just so that you can receive is really, really important. In my household, I guess now that you're saying that, it was a blessing that it was like us and them sort of thing where we didn't talk to them, we didn't communicate, we didn't eat dinner at the same table. You know, if you were being talked to, you were in big trouble. So I had You
mean by your parents, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So my stepfather, my stepfather was not a very good man. We weren't to talk about it. We weren't to, do you see that?
It froze, but it came back.
Okay.
What did you see?
So I just saw a tag that said I'm unstable. When I mentioned him, it said, your computer is unstable. Could read a lot into that. But so I spent a lot of time in silence, and I was bullied. I was bullied. But I understand now that when people come, when people are mean to me, it's not about me. It's about them. And if I'm not nice to somebody, or if I'm angry at somebody, that's not about them. It's about me and my perception that they wronged me in some way.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I want to add to that, anyone watching this who's also had experiences of bullying, in no way are we saying don't defend yourself if you have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're in a situation, by all means, do what you need to do to protect yourself. You have that right. You deserve, to give that to yourself. But then what comes after that, how you perceive that. We're all coming from our own place. And no matter what anybody projects onto us, it really just never has anything to do with us. It's all about them. And even with that said, the more we strengthen our connection to ourselves and really understand our power in creating our life, we can also start to work with energies so that we can attract more people into our life who actually serve us, as opposed to those people who are going to, do those things that we don't want to experience. So,
right. So if anybody's been bullied in their life, I guess I would really want them to understand that it was about the person that was bullying you. It had nothing to do with the way you looked or the way you dressed or the way you walked or spoke. It was nothing to do with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Let me say that again. There's nothing wrong with you. We were all meant to be unique because you are spirit, right? So as spirit, why would you ever choose to come here and be just like somebody else?
yes.
You wouldn't, right? You didn't. Because you came here to be your unique self. So whether you're black or white or yellow or pink or whatever, there's a reason why there's no two stones the same. No two rainbows the same, no two sunsets the same. It's by design. By design. So celebrate your uniqueness and stand proudly in your uniqueness, because that's what you came here to do.
It sounds like the community that you're creating is going to provide a space to support and empower people to be able to really connect with that in themselves.
Right. And the first thing to help the coaches and healers know is that they are unique and they are brilliant and they are magnificent, and they came here to shine their light as brightly as possible. And sometimes we have the same message, right? You and I, we might have the same message to give to someone, but I say it to them and they don't receive it. But you say it to them and they heard it in the way that they needed to, right?
And what I love about that is that's the whole concept of there's no competition.
Right, there is none. No.
Because we're each doing our things our own way. I mean, if there was no value in that, then I guess what? We only need like one doctor in the world, one dentist, one dry cleaner, one artist. I mean, what's the point? Right? We each add our own flavor to it and are able to connect to others and help uplift as we each do our own thing, right? Even if there's similarities in it, we're helping to raise more and more, as opposed to just giving up and, oh, well, no, she's already doing that. And what about all these people that were waiting to hear from you, whether they knew it or not? So I love that.
Right. And it's just so true, because we all have our gifts, right? We're all gifted. We all have our own way. So it is true. Like, we can all say we're life coaches, but we might do the same process, right? Mm-hmm. But we do it in our own unique way that's received. So it's very important. I'm sorry, I'm getting information's coming through. So if you don't step up, right? So if the coaches and the healers don't step up and step out to shine their light and to serve that person that needs to hear that message in the way that only you can bring it, right? Will never receive it.
Okay, tell us again. So you're going to be announcing the program on January 25th.
Yes.
It launches on February 1st. And what's the best way for people to receive that information so they know how to sign up?
Okay. So if you email me at Susan@BecomeEmpoweredNowCoaching, and put in the subject line, I am ready to receive, you will receive some gifts from me, and also I'll be able to keep you updated on what is to come, because it is absolutely fabulous. And I know that, I feel it, I'm already there. So I'm so excited. So
you know what? That's totally, there's I think a lot of people who are looking for what you're going to be providing. And so that's wonderful that you are stepping into your light. You know this, you're stepping into your light, doing your part, and supporting everyone else that's going to be part of that community. So I have something that I've done with a few people that I've interviewed, and it's sort of a little surprise. And I started thinking, should I do this with Susan or not? It's kind of cheesy, but I think it's fun. Anyway,
I like cheesy.
And again, if this is too cheesy, I will edit this out. But so would you like to receive a message that's not from, well, it's all from there, but would you like to receive a message?
I would love to receive a message.
Okay. So choose a number 1 through 7.
7 came right up, so I'll go with 7.
Okay. Now choose 1 through 265.
26.
26. And that's right. You already saw this from the other shows. I forgot. Okay. So what we were doing is I have a stack of books next to me here, and I should have shuffled these around. But anyway, you chose number 7, which is Infinite Possibilities.
Yay! How perfect is that?
I know. And page 26 is, let's see, it's in chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1 is Thoughts Become Things. Mm-hmm. And on page 26, it's just sort of a half page. It's this one here.
Okay.
And the things that are highlighted, let's see here. Thoughts become things. There are no preconditions. There is no hidden agenda. And there are no unknown variables working against you in this Garden of Eden, this paradise amongst paradises, where each of us is indeed master of our destiny.
There you go. That is the message, right?
So I just wanted to share that. I realize, I do this because I think it's fun. I love it.
I mean, that message was perfect, right? Because that's what I'm saying in my group. You are the master of your own destiny.
Yep.
You're just magnificent.
Absolutely. The other thing that I love about this, not only is it just, fun for me, but I love because this shows how when you create an energy about something, which comes through our words, our conversation, everything that we do contributes to our energy and vibration and links up with other things. And this is an example of how that, one example of how that works. So is there anything extra you wanted to add or share with people?
I just want to kind of hone in on the message to the coaches and the healers. Your gifts are so needed at this time, and you came here to shine your light like only you can. So embrace it, because you are magnificent and you are amazing. And that's not coming from my head, right? That's coming from really, that place, my soul, that can see you beyond your flesh. I can see you. I can see your spirit. And please, join me on the 25th. There's no pressure to join anything or whatever, just come and be in the energy and the vibration. And if it resonates with you, great. I'll see you inside. But if it doesn't, that's okay. That's okay. So I love everyone. I love you, Kim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan.
Just remember who you are. Remember who you are and connect.
Thank you so much, Susan. Well, it was wonderful having you here today and getting to hear, some of your story and what you're doing today. I know that that's very much needed, and obviously you do too. And so it's great to see that someone's providing that space to really support the coaches, because the coaches are here to support all their clients. And
they're coaches, and they're like, okay, I graduated, so now I got to be a coach. Oh my God, right? But know that you don't have to do it by yourself, that I'm here, and I've created this beautiful space that you can freely express who you really are, unicorn and all.
Nice. Okay, well, thank you so much, Susan. It was wonderful having you here, and I look forward to keeping in touch.
Okay, awesome. Bye.